Oh, wow.
Yeah, stocked him up.
You're such the designer.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Awkwafina, Kung Fu Panda 4. You play Zhen, the thief turned maybe warrior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know. So,
Yeah.
so what was it like preparation wise for the character? If you like research on anything like what's the thief life like and all that?
Well, actually, I think this is the second time I played a pickpocket, so maybe calling upon that a little bit. But I think she really speaks for herself. It was a really interesting character. I was really excited to read what happens of them. But I think, yeah, I think she speaks for herself. And I would say in terms of an animated performance, probably the most serious, like closest to really who I am. And I think that was cool to play.
And so what was that like when you say to who you are? What aspects of the character?
Well, I think that she's a complex female character, which we love to see, and I personally love to play. She's not perfect. She definitely has a stealing problem, but she's making do with the cards that she's dealt. She's not, like incapable of change.
Yeah, and with the character, what I liked about Zhen is from the background, the criminal underworld, and then finding out like maybe I can change. It's like it's never too late.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever feel like that in life, where it's like, you know what, like I can turn things around.
Definitely, yeah, totally. And I think it's a mindset, and eventually it does become, like about generosity of yourself and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so you're playing opposite Jack Black, who plays Giant Panda. And what was that like in terms of just trying to visualize that? Like, because I'm pretty sure you're in the booth by yourself, right?
Yeah.
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 And so what was that like for that experience?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the franchise, so it's super cool to not only just work with people that you're a fan of. I love Jack Black so much, and this is the second time I've worked with him, and it's nothing but a pleasure. But it was a bizarre feeling in the animated world to like exist in with these characters that I kind of know and love. That was a different kind of like starstruckness for me.
Yeah. And with this movie has like a cast like the Asian Americans. And James Hong and Key, yeah,
Lori Tianchen,
yeah.
Ronny Chieng, yeah.
And so, what was that like? Just getting to just be in this movie with that type of cast.
I mean, it's so cool because I think that this, the franchise and Kung Fu Panda is such a nod to Chinese culture and a representative in a way that really didn't exist at that time. And I love all the actors, the new additions, James Hong. And I saw the woman who plays my grandma, Lori Tianchen. I think she did a great job in the movie. It makes me feel really proud, that we're all part of this together. Mm-hmm. It's a really happy premiere.
And with the movie, your character goes on different adventures through like the mountains and all that. Is there like a moment where you had a lot of fun with this character?
Yeah, I mean, I think working with Stephanie and Mike, our directors, they really allowed the performers to kind of exist and be what they do and ad lib and make it their own, and that I was really grateful for that. But yeah, I think that I liked all the scenes with Poe. I like roasting Poe. Those are fun to do.
And since you were in it, did you get to have any input on your character in terms of like maybe like food or just the way the aesthetics? Like we talked about, you helped design this set.
I did do this all. Yeah, not 72 hours. I want to let the people that are good at their job do their job, and I trusted the process the whole time. And I'm not. I think Zhen is cool. But when I saw her for the first time on Sunday, I think like it's to see all the work that's done that you really don't know what's happening is just a cool surprise.
How's it going, Ronnie?
Hey man, thanks for speaking to me. What a cool setup you got there.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Funkos, Transformers, Witcher. I wish I had a fish to commemorate your character as the Captain Fish. Yeah,
Mike and Steph gave me a cell shade of fish.
Yeah. But it's cell shading with CG though, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
How does that
So
work?
I know. I asked them for a cell shade because I don't know. I guess that's how old I am. And then he actually, Mike and Steph told me like, oh, we don't dude, we don't have one, but they made one for me. It was beautiful.
Oh, so they made one for you, an actual cell shading at the
Yeah,
somewhere in the 2D
yeah,
animation department,
yeah.
and
They made it
that's
really cool,
crazy.
and I wish I had it with me. I'll show you.
Oh yeah. So with Kung Fu Panda 4, you're the you're integral to the movie. You help steer the ship. You help Poe on his way to his mission. And what was that like? You know, like I gotta take care of this very important role right here.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a important franchise that I was very honored to be part of. So I definitely wanted to do a good job. Mike and Steph are super easy to work with. The script was very tight, very well written, so it was easy to kind of do. I pitched them some jokes. They let me try it out. But no, I approached it with the same amount of care that they approached it when they make a wuxia homage
Oh
animation like
yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
So I felt I
So
owed it.
did you do any research in terms like the rewatching wuxia films or studying fish out there? Because I know like when
Yeah,
animators
I
they
watched a lot
animate.
of fish. I ate a lot of fish. I watched fish eat other fish. I saw this fish eat a bird. You can look that on YouTube. There's fish who eat birds
Wow, I have to
regularly.
see
So
that.
there's that. Yeah, so yeah, Google it or don't if you don't want to be disgusted.
No, no, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And with because this movie is very steeped into, just martial arts culture. How do you feel when your character is like, my fish won't be doing any martial arts, but it will be doing other things, and I'm okay. Are you like okay with that?
Yeah, totally okay with that. I was
Yeah.
okay, man. They asked me to be a part of it. I didn't even look at the role. I was like, please put me in, coach. Anything. I'll play defense. I'll play, I'll box out. Just tell me. I didn't. Whatever. Any character I knew would be great.
Oh yeah. And watching this, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without like I don't know if it's
No,
a
go for it.
spoiler yet about your fish being inside.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spoiler, but let's try to talk around it.
Yeah. And but it's something different, and I don't know where the idea for that came about because I thought it was hilarious when I saw it's like, where's that sound coming from? Where's that voice coming from?
Yeah.
When I heard it, I was like, hey, that's Ronnie's voice.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. No, that's Mike and Steph have great, very creative, super funny, very quirky character design, which I appreciate. So it's fun.
And I guess for this after this, do you see your character just in more adventures with Poe?
I hope so. I mean, I didn't get killed off, so I guess it's still there. I mean, I hope they bring me back. I mean, I
Yeah.
would love to be brought back.
How's it
Look
going,
at all the
Mike and Stephanie?
toys. You've got all the
Yeah,
toys, John. You
a
win.
lot of stuff. What
Yeah.
I'm missing is Kung Fu Panda stuff, which I need to fix.
You
So,
got to get a chameleon. You have to get an action figure of the chameleon. And
or
it's like a
or they're all the chameleon.
Oh, great. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
You're right. She just
You're
shapeshifted
right. Yeah,
and
she can turn into any one of your toys, even Mr. Potato Head. It's incredible.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head. So yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4, fourth film. Ho continuing on his adventure. This one's a bit different, and it's more about him just trying to like, well, you know the story, so just spiritual leader and all that. And
Yeah.
so what was that like with this story, which is it feels different from the other ones because the other ones just like a whole like a team effort, like the Furious Five, etc. This one you have Awkwafina, and he's at peace. I feel like.
Seemingly, he still wants to have one last great adventure. And that was our thing where before Stephanie and I started this one, we wanted to make sure that it was a story that had to be told. We wanted to further Kung Fu Panda's journey. We wanted to give him more lessons to learn. And we found that we could do that if he could leave the Valley of Peace. That's a very special place for Poe, as the Valley of Peace. And to have him leave and go to a whole new place and meet all new characters and maybe have to assemble a new team because his buddies are busy. The Furious Five are on four corners of China doing all sorts of stuff. So we just thought that would be the most interesting story.
Yeah, and then also one of my favorite I guess relationship dynamics was in Kung Fu Panda 1 between Poe and Master Shifu. you know how Poe was always irritating, Shifu. Not that he wanted to, it was just that's that was just their personalities. Well, when we decided, that Poe's story had to be that he had to take the next step on his journey of being a hero. He had to step away from the Dragon Warrior title. He had to become the next spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, replacing Master Oogway. We were like, we need to team him up with someone who annoys him just as much as he annoyed
Yeah, give him a
Master
taste of
Shifu.
his own medicine. Give him a little
Yeah.
taste of what he's been.
Yeah, and it was great because you want that sort of tension between the two main characters. So I think they really rubbed off on each other in a really hilarious way at the beginning, and then hopefully you can really see the growth of their friendship as time went on. But it was very important to us that they both had that sort of arc uh, in their journey
It
Oh
was nice
yeah.
that Jack Black was buddies with Awkwafina too, because
in
they're
real
both
life. Yeah,
very funny together, and
yeah.
they're already friends, so that made it easier to create these characters.
Oh yeah. And what was the inspiration for getting Aquafina? Was it through like who would be able to annoy Jack Black the most,
That's
or
right. You got it. That's exactly right. Who could annoy Jack the most, and who could be as funny as Jack? That's a really tough one because Jack Black is so funny and quick, and it's like who could we put that could keep up with him? And now it's Aquafina.
It's that, and then also the character of Zhen, like there's as you've seen in the movie, there's quite a lot of depth to her. And she has a pretty tragic backstory, and there are there are very interesting layers to her. And we couldn't, I mean, we definitely wouldn't just go to anyone, just be like, hey, you can play Jen. But we needed an actor who could keep up with Jack Black on the comedic level, but also have the acting chops to to like tug at our heartstrings whenever we find out what's her deal. So we were all huge fans of her character. I think her character's name was Billy in the Farewell.
Yeah.
So we knew that she had the comedy chops, and we knew that she had the heart and drama acting chops as well to fully round out this character.
We were very specific with all of our casting too, Stephanie. We're like, who could be the angriest fish that lives in the mouth of a pelican? We're like, that's got to be Ronny Chieng.
Yeah.
Ronnie's our guy.
yeah. And with the chameleon being like the main villain, so what was that like? Just in terms of like how do we step it up?
Well, that was crazy because John, I think this is the best franchise that DreamWorks has ever made. And one of the reasons is it's Jack Black is fantastic and he is Poe. But one of the biggest reasons is I think these are the best villains ever created for any franchise. Like I think this franchise really hits its peak with these villains. They're just the greatest. They're the greatest villains ever created. So we were like, man, how do we top all these terrific villains and make one ultimate crazy kick-ass villain for Poe's last, Dragon Warrior journey? And I think we did it. We
Yeah.
did it. We're just like, literally, how do we combine every villain that's been done into this villain? So
I also feel like in terms of her relatability, I feel like the chameleon is actually the most relatable, because if we all had the power to shapeshift and look like anyone or sound like anyone, I think we would do that, right? But as you see in the movie, again, like Poe challenges her in Act 3, and he says like, maybe we can both change. And she's like, I'm the chameleon, I do nothing but change. And this whole conversation about like change on the surface is it's not real change. That's just a very superficial thing. You can look different however much you want, but if you want true fulfillment, if you want to be happy, and if you know that there's something about yourself that you can change in order to attain your happiness, that is actually the hardest thing that every single one of us does. Like the hardest thing that we can each do is actually change the thing that's preventing us from being happy. And so for me, thematically, I think the chameleon represents how just how difficult that is, and that's why her story and Poe's story and Zhen's story is so successful.
They all kind of intersect, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to have Viola Davis doing the voice. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so powerful.
Very helpful
Yeah.
if you're going to make a villain.
But yeah, that was a great answer, Stephanie. Just the change from within, especially from without. But if you had the powers of the chameleon, which animal would you choose to be?
What a great question. I think I already look like Granny Boar. Maybe I'd be Granny Boar and run a violent tavern.
I think I would want to be one of the rabbits.
Yeah. Maybe all three. Maybe you could shapeshift into three of them at once, Stephanie.
Yeah, I just
Why not?
I just like how they can scare even the scariest villains.
Yeah. No one wants to go up against
Can't beat them.